Thanks, Dr. Archana, and I think in conclusion, in 360-degree feedback, you have given already everything, because while we understand buyer feedback and we understand what is supposed to be done, we understand merchandising is really, really important, and a lot of training needs to be done for that. But somehow we miss in that part a lot, because there is always a gap in terms of when the production gets whether from embellishments to fabrics to whatever is needed, when production should get it so that they give you the best productivity. The worker also give you the best productivity. So I think a merchandiser has a big role to play, and we all have to understand. With this, I will have another 2-3 minutes only for Q&A. Maybe 5 minutes. I won't encroach on lunch at all. I am also feeling hungry. So please.
Gap starts right from the institutions, because what the organization expects certain levels of whatever you've termed, right from communication to how they should be reacting, and when they move into the organization, those expectations are not met, and unfortunately the gap gets wider because the training doesn't happen, and each order is different from the other, so the expectation of each order is also different, each expectation of every buyer is different. So I think the study is very limited, and we should start our improvement process right from the institutes, and the whole process of how they've been taught and how they've been going into the industry should change. And I think for that, more interaction between the institutes and the industry needs to happen. Thank you.
Thanks for that comment, and I'll take it back.
Yeah.
Good morning to everybody. This is Salil Chawla. I represent DFU Publications. It's not really a question. Rather, I want to compliment Naveen ji, for putting forth, in a very comprehensive, the common sense basics of life, which is the most uncommon, I would say. Stuff like SHIT, introducing KISS, keeping the things very simple and specific, Have greed, but in the positive sense. Fourthly, I think he's hit on the nail when he says that because we all follow in one or the other way, Krishna or Gita, that phal ki chinta karo. I think brilliant, these small bits can change the life, individuals, value chain, organization, the entire society. Thank you.
Thanks, Salil, and I would compliment Salil, because I find Salil in most of the conferences, and when you have to ask questions, he is always there. So he is always encouraging from that perspective, and he listens carefully. That's why he is able to ask questions. Any other question? Yeah, sir.
This is related to Archana. See, even in the first session through Wazir, we heard that some of the major losses in production actually start from merchandising. And the fact that it is true about it, especially when you come to the northern part where we make garments which are more value added, merchandisers tend to play a very major role. In the south of India, they may not play such a major role. The industry on a whole, even in northern India, a lot of them are spending a lot of time how to improve productivity, lean manufacturing, and a lot of them have become pretty active, and a lot of them have even been able to show results. The fact is, a lot of them who would have not gone into it don't exist in the business. Whereas when we come to merchandising, we seriously feel, even at the institute level, do they really understand it? And how do we bring it to the industry? You take simple issues. If one was to say, what is merchandising? It's like HR in a garment industry is not an HR. It's more like bookkeeping. So merchandising is also not merchandising. It is a very lower form of merchandising. So what plans do you have to really, for the industry that would really like to upgrade that? Because without that process, for the industry as a whole to grow may not be difficult. it may be very difficult as the owner of the company or this to even explain merchandising in your own organization, what merchandising actually means.
Yeah.
We are more of bookkeeping
Yeah.
and involved in sending a fit sample, involved in sending a size set. We're not going beyond that. And the fact is, we've not even been able to perfect that.
Right.
So, since you've done PhD, I'd like to dig your brains as to where do you think you're planning to take this?
I think I'm not going to say that NIFT doesn't have a role to play. I'm sure NIFT has a large role to play. But one of the very important things that we've been talking for some time with the industry now is a very close interaction between the students and the industry. I think that if it gets more cohesive, a lot of the doubts, a lot of the theory that students study in the class are likely to get, we can overcome those doubts when they go to the industry. So the interaction has to start not just at the time when the placement happens, because according to you at that time they're not well prepared to do merchandising. So the interaction has to start when we start doing industry internships, when they are doing specific projects, when they are doing their final graduation project, and then it should lead so that you know what kind of people have actually understood the job over a period of time as students, as young people, and what kind of people to hire. So when you hire once during the placement process, you're just interviewing that person for about half an hour. So, and you know, the kind of prerequisites that you have, if that person fulfills at that point of time, you take him and then get disappointed because you think he hasn't understood merchandising at all while he was studying. So I feel that interaction is very important. Some of the companies that we've been working with very closely, they may be a part of this OGTC group or not, have been doing this at a very close level, and through that process we realized that their complaints over a period of time, as far as students are concerned, have reduced. I'm not saying they're completely gone, but have reduced. So I think a very, very cohesive, interaction. Point number 2, I think what we are trying to do now, which is going to start next year, every 4 years we update our curriculum, is that having more and more industry to come and tell us what to teach in NIFT in different kinds of subjects, so that they get a well-rounded student which is custom made for them. Even though we have so many students, but I'm sure if through industry interaction, so some of very senior industry members have agreed to participate in that advisory board, and you'll hopefully see that change over a period of time. Third, I can keep talking about it. Third, I feel that a lot of faculty training in the industry needs to also happen, because faculty also needs to refresh their knowledge, their understanding about what is happening in the industry. So I personally feel that I keep need to refreshing myself, even though I've worked in the industry many years. I'm involved with the industry at a very close level, but refreshing knowledge, so that's what they take back to the class. So I don't think merchandising by itself is anything. They need to have knowledge of the so many things that I talked about. So yes, of course, the level of knowledge needs to keep growing, but I think in this industry interaction to that extent, and the support of the industry, and not only support, also the association of the industry with NIFT is very important.
You've spoken about internship for the students. Have you thought of internship for the faculty?
Yes. Oh, yes. We have that already. So faculty for the last 3 years have started. It's called Faculty Industry Attachment, FIA, and faculty are now within, they're given some time period and they are to go to the industry and do an internship as a refresher course. Yeah.
Sir, immediately after this lunch session, there are 3 parallel workshops. Merchandising is one of them. That is going to be in one of the halls here. The production is going to be in one hall, and HR is going to be one hall. And Archana Gandhi is going to be here in the merchandising workshop. So all our questions we can keep reserved for her during the merchandising session. Prashant, hand over to you to complete the format.
Now we have to thanks. I will really thank my eminent panelists for coming out with very good presentations, thought-provoking ones, and definitely there will be some learning for everyone in these presentations. With this, not speaking anything between you and lunch. Lunch is at Silver Oak Lawns. near gate number 3. Just go out of the porch, and on the left is the lawn. So let's go and have lunch. Thanks.